The other night I was watching New York One. I guess maybe on Twitter I had seen some reporter say, kudos to Errol Lewis for this interview. And I turned on New York One, and Bill de Blasio is going to town on Andrew Cuomo. Now,
oh my God,
you and I...
It's what I wish I had heard during the election. I understand why I didn't during Cuomo's re-election.
You and I are not big fans of Andrew Cuomo. And
you could say that.
And look, the amazing thing about watching de Blasio basically say, like, people are sick and tired of Andrew Cuomo with his personal, petty little vendettas, using his personal moments of being pissed off at people as the driving force behind policy. And to a large extent, I mean, I don't know if listen, it is... there are a lot of people I've spoken to who have worked for Andrew Cuomo, who know him professionally and personally, who have worked with him on campaigns, who have worked with him as governor, who have said, this guy is a huge a-hole. And that's all well and good. But he is such an a-hole that it goes beyond, like, I imagine a lot of people in politics, a lot of people who are and maybe, there are
a lot of people who are a-holes. I don't want to cut you up, but I think I want to sort of share what I think is a theme here, which is, irrespective of party, there's this New York, New Jersey thing, where I think I could say that having grown up there, with just these folks who grew up. I don't know, there is a common factor there. They all seem to be from working backgrounds who wanted to get into the halls of power, and maybe they thought they had to be this way, or I don't know. But because there was sort of this patrician, John Lindsay, Christine Todd Whitman kind of figure in both parties, right, who often occupied the halls of power there. But then there's also been Chris Christie and Andrew Cuomo and Rudy Giuliani and Ed Koch.
Well, let's be honest.
Chuck Schumer.
Cuomo,
and so it's not by ethnicity. I don't want people throwing out this Italian stuff. Schumer, Koch, and others who are, Irish politicians, WASPy. Others who just came from a certain background where they are bullies, and Cuomo seems to come from that tradition where he thinks he can just threaten and bully his way through everything. And the thing about that, like with Christie and Cuomo, are both great examples, is that for a while it works until scandal catches up with you, until the public starts figuring it out. And the thing is people don't respect you. They actually hate you. They're waiting. They're just scared of you for a while. But when that fear is gone, the knives come out because, frankly, they don't respect you at all, as opposed to winning people's respect by leading.
Well, and I think,
that's where
frankly,
both Christie and Cuomo are right now.
Part of, Cuomo's personality, you can't divorce the fact that he grew up as the governor's son. And, he's got this sort of sense of entitlement that is pretty amazing. And the sense that he's where he's at despite, he's been on record as saying, I'm where I'm at basically despite the fact that my dad was governor. He said something, the quote
that sounds so much like Mitt Romney, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Like
I think at the time when that quote came out.
I inherited all of his enemies and half his friends.
That's
and
exactly.
the house that he bought you, and college education for free at Harvard, and, that stuff.
And also you're deluding yourself, like that you would have been governor if your father wasn't governor. Give me a break.
Right. Exactly.
But, what I think is also...
I'm just saying it's good that you don't see it very often, but it's very good to see. It's refreshing, actually.
Well, but I think there's something more that's going on here, because I think that Bill de Blasio, if Bill de Blasio is not built into this narrative, and it's not I don't believe it's a fictional narrative. I believe that it's something that's happening in the country. If Bill de Blasio is not part of a larger narrative of progressives, of the left side of the Democratic Party, okay, and I say that because I don't want anybody to, I don't want anyone to misinterpret that. I'm not saying that Bill de Blasio is the most liberal or progressive, that we should be wanting.
To be honest,
you're
calling him a communist, Sam.
Well, but I'm just saying, in the context of the Democratic Party, which is limited, right? It only goes so far to the left.
Yeah.
In that context, he is emboldened because it's not like Andrew Cuomo, this is the first time that anybody's realized the guy's an a-hole. It's just that now there is a sense that, like, look, politically speaking, I can go public with this. That I
you
can
only benefit from it, right?
Right.
I mean, you don't.
Or
This
that
guy
I
screwed
got
him
enough
from the very
backup.
beginning, and he couldn't do as much about it. I wish he could have. I wish he felt he could have. I understand the reasons he didn't when Zephyr was running, because maybe that could have made a difference. But clearly now he realizes, what's Cuomo's approval rating? If it cracks 40%, I'd be
Right.
surprised. And so there's only, and a lot of that hatred isn't from Republicans. Some of the country club type Republicans, I think, probably like Andrew Cuomo a whole lot. It's a lot of that's coming from the Democratic side, the base. And so if you're de Blasio, whatever your ambitions are, if it's just to get your policy positions out there because you care, or it's as high as you want to run for president or senator or whatever it might be at some point. Any which way, you can't hurt yourself at this point by going after Andrew Cuomo because everybody frickin' hates the guy.
Yeah.
And he has no popular support. He'll be president when I'm president of this country, which is to say, God help us all in either case.
So you are announcing right now the co-presidency.
I'm only announcing that if Andrew Cuomo runs, I will run against him. No, I shouldn't say that, because he will run, because he'll delude himself like Christie, and he'll get nowhere like Christie, because people have caught on to his game, and Giuliani and these others who for a while can fool people, but eventually people catch on for the most part. We have a media these days which has lots of problems to it, but it also is pretty much omnipresent. And you can't get away with the kinds of things you used to get away with, because when you act like a jackass to somebody, often it's caught on video or someone reports it in a way that they wouldn't have. And Andrew Cuomo is just a bad person in every sense of the word, and he sold out a lot of the people that supported him. He only got reelected, not even by a big margin, and only because of the situation at hand. I mean, you can win as a Democrat in New York almost, these days, running for statewide office pretty easily, but even in that primary, what happened, and so we'll get rid of the guy soon enough, I think, and that'll be a good thing.
I hope so. All right.
I really hope so too. He can go back to being a lawyer with the name Cuomo. I hope he enjoys it.